Hey everyone. So today I just wanted to do a video on my top 5 favorite female-led action movies. I know I just did a video on my top 3 favorite action series being more than one movie. And so today I just wanted to do a video on the female-led action films because we don't have many of them. There aren't that many good ones to choose from. There aren't that many that don't over objectify the female character. And in these 5 films, each character is not really objectified, you know. Maybe in the last choice, there's a little bit of that, but it's not to the point where it's just like too much to handle. So this is what you can expect in my list is characters that are not objectified, but they're just amazing action heroes. They're amazing action characters that we can look up to and admire and be like, yeah, she's pretty awesome, you know? So that's what this list is about. My top 5 favorite female-led action movies. Number 1 on this list is Salt. Salt is an awesome film. It is super badass. It stars Angelina Jolie as a CIA operative who is accused of being a Russian spy. There's a lot that happens in it. She fights just with a lot of power, and like you can feel the fury, and you know, but she's not a bad character. She ends up saving the world actually, and it's just a really good movie. So that's why it's on this list. I remember when it came out, I went to see it many times because it was just that good. I haven't seen it in a long time since. I haven't been able to find it on any streaming service or anything. So I'm gonna have to check and see, you know, if I can rewatch it because I would love to see it again. It's so good. On my blog, Films and Veganism, I have a blog titled Angelina Jolie is Salt. And in that blog post, I wrote that she doesn't fight pretty. She doesn't fight delicate. She fights mean. The fight scenes in this movie are pretty brutal. They're done very well. Well choreographed. The action's amazing. The stunts, Angelina Jolie actually did do a lot of them herself. She's just a super intelligent and strong character. But also, another interesting fact about Salt is that it was originally written for a man. I think they were planning to cast Tom Cruise in that role, but instead, Angelina Jolie took the part. She's just really good in it. And throughout the whole entire film, we're trying to figure out what all is going on and how she gets out of this tangled web that she's been involved in, and whether she really is this bad guy or is she a good guy. We, as the audience, know that she's good and her intentions are good, but to those who don't know and don't see everything that happens, you know, they're led to believe otherwise, and they're led to believe that she's the enemy. It was so good. I feel like it's kind of underrated. Nobody talks about it. I can't find it on any streaming services, but it's definitely really one worth watching. I can't recommend it enough. That's why it's number 1. And another interesting fact is that when I was a background actor person, I actually worked with the director of this film. He was directing all of the extras for this show called The Resident. I saw the trailer for it and I was like, yep, this show's not for me. But yeah, that's an interesting story how it relates to me. You know, he directed this film, which is one of my very favorite action movies, and it's just so good. Number 2 on this list is Edge of Tomorrow. Now, this movie stars Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt, and it came out, I think, in 2014. Came out in 2014, and it is an awesome movie. It's based on a book. I have seen this movie multiple times, and it is definitely one of my favorites. Action, sci-fi, near future type, almost apocalyptic type movies, and it is just so good. The action's really good. The structure of the film is really interesting as well. It's very unique. I remember someone saying that this movie is like a mix between Groundhog Day and like Call of Duty, and it totally is. But it's got a badass female character in it, played by Emily Blunt, and it's got Tom Cruise in it. I've also written about this one in my blog post, where I said that this film has been described as a Call of Duty / Halo meets Groundhog Day for its utilization of elements that pertain to both a serious warfare video game and a comedic, repetitive nightmare, because there are a lot of humorous moments in there. The supporting characters provide a good amount of humor that just adds to the value of the film. It makes it even more enjoyable. This is what makes the film unique and interesting. And then I just go on to talk about video games for a bit more. So if you like video games, you're gonna like this movie. You know, if you like the part of video games where you kind of just sit back and watch the story, this is for you, because it sort of is like a video game. It's like, bless you, kitty. Each day he's put in a similar situation, but the way that he reacts to every day is gonna have to be different. He's gonna have to change. He's gonna have to improve. And it's funny because this is kind of like what happens to us in real life. You know, if you find yourself in a difficult situation, you just brush it off, and then in the next relationship, that same issue pops up, or a couple months later, you find that you're still dealing with the same issues. I feel like this is a sort of a representation of that strange thing that happens when we don't deal with our issues and the root cause of them. But anyway, let's get back to the movie. What makes this film really good and unique from most action films, and why this is on my list, is because there's a strong female character who is not objectified at all. The thing that's also really enjoyable about this film, that makes this film really interesting to watch, is the mix of genres. You have the strange sci-fi elements, you have a war movie, you have a strong female character, you have Tom Cruise. Cruise action movies have their own sort of way about them. It's sort of like, that's sort of a genre of itself, I think. But then you also have humorous moments, and he is not supposed to be up there. Let me get him. And so another really enjoyable part of the film is the action. The action in it is amazing. The stunts, the choreography, so many amazing fight sequences and action sequences in it. And if you like action movies, science fiction, anything that deals with the near future or war movies, this is a good movie for you. The reason why this is on my list of female-led action movies is because this movie would not be as successful as it was. I wouldn't have seen this movie if it wasn't for Emily Blunt's character, if it wasn't for there being something new and different added to it, and that makes the film very unique. Even though it might follow the same structure as a Groundhog Day or as a video game, it still is very unique for bringing both elements together with all of the different genres, with such amazing characters who are funny and who are interesting. It's a good movie, and it has a lot of heart to it as well, so check it out. Number 3 on this list is a movie called Run, Lola Run. It stars Franca Potenta. If you've seen the Bourne movie, you know who she is. This is a German film. It's from the 90s, and it is about a young woman who has 20 minutes to save her boyfriend's life because he's gotten in deep with either drug dealers or gangsters of some sort. And this takes place in Germany. If you're a film student, you're familiar with this film as well, because it is in many academic film books. They talk about film color or fast-paced movies. Sorry for the shaking of the camera. Fast-paced movies or the color red, then you've probably studied this film or had it mentioned. I know I have. And it's just such a great film. There's a lot of red. It's very fast-paced. It'll get you going. I also have the soundtrack for this movie as well because the music is just so good and upbeat. I remember when I used to like rush to work, then I'd have the CD playing in my car, and it would like motivate me to get up and go and, you know, like energize. So if you watch the movie and you hear the music, you're gonna fall in love with it. It's just such a great movie. Another great thing about this movie is the fact that it doesn't follow a traditional movie sequence. It has its own sequence. It has a very interesting, unusual time sequence, which is always fun to watch. Much like in our previous film, Edge of Tomorrow, which does this rewinding thing, this repetitive rewinding of time, this movie has another way of using time where it's not just rewinding time, but it's also, well, it is rewinding time and going through different scenarios. Run, Lola Run really addresses that whole idea that the choices you make will, you know, affect your life, basically. You know, like the choices and decisions and actions that you take will affect the trajectory of your life. So that's what you see in this movie. Just like in the breakup movie, the one that I did, I talk about how your choices and actions affect others and how that affects the rest of your life. That's what this movie does as well. It's a German film. It has subtitles, yes, but once you've been reading subtitles in a movie for about 10, 5, 20 minutes, I guess for everybody it's different, but for me, once I've been watching a movie with subtitles, after a while I stop realizing that I'm reading subtitles, and then I just feel like it's automatically translated in my brain. Anybody else experience that when you're watching a foreign film? Let me know in the comments about that. But anyway, it's a really great movie. It's super action-packed. It's fast-paced. It'll make you think. It'll make you wonder, you know, what if this were me? What would I do in these situations? What would I do if I had only 20 minutes to save someone who I love, to save their life, you know? And what would that look like for me? And so this film goes through those 20 minutes in different timelines or realities, and it shows you these different scenarios of what she does and how her choices reflect the outcome of that time limit of those 20 minutes. Does she save him? Does she not save him? Does she make it? Does he not make it? What happens? You will have to watch the movie to see what happens. And if you like the color red, you'll love this movie. If you like fast-paced, heart-pumping, interesting time scenarios and timelines, the exploration of timelines and alternate realities, alternate choices and outcomes, then check this movie out. I cannot recommend it enough. It is so good. I also must add, for all and any of my film people out there, if you like French New Wave films, I feel like this movie is a 90s, it's like a 90s revival. It's like a 90s homage to the French New Wave because it is totally in that style. It has a lot of visual techniques that it uses to create very strong messages, and it's just so good. Run, Lola Run is a movie that asks us, what will we do for the person that we love? What choices will we make when time is on the line? It's very existential. It's just very existential. Another 90s female-led action movie. It is called The Long Kiss Goodnight. It stars Gina Davis and Samuel L. Jackson, and it's a good movie. It's a fun to watch movie. That's why I can't stop smiling. It has been a short while since I've seen The Long Kiss Goodnight, but it's a really great film. If you like the Bourne series, then you're gonna like this one. It has a sort of similar premise to it in that you have this assassin who works for the government who gets amnesia and forgets who they are. And throughout the course of the film, they have to uncover clues and figure out who they are as certain strange things keep happening, and that's what happens. So not only does this character figure out who she is and slowly learns who she is, as she's becoming her former self, her true self, you see this major transformation of a character, of a person, go from typical suburban housewife to super badass, scary, don't want to mess with that woman. It's an awesome movie. Gina Davis is awesome in it, but there's some really funny parts. There's a lot of heart to it, and it's fun to watch. It's interesting, and Samuel L. Jackson provides a funny aspect in it, and he also plays the detective character who tries to help her out and help her solve some mysteries and clues. So it's really fun. There's a lot of suspense, there's a lot of action, a lot of classic 90s explosions, and it's so good. Definitely check out this movie. Number 5 on this list is Tomb Raider, Lara Croft Tomb Raider. I know I talked about these two movies in my latest movie-related video, but they're on this list because you have a super awesome female action lead, and these movies could not be on this list, if you know what I'm saying. There's just amazing action. They travel to a bunch of really amazing places. This is where most movie productions don't usually go, and where some haven't been in a very long time. And if you haven't seen the behind the scenes footage along with the movies, you've got to see the footage behind the scenes, because the behind the scenes footage just makes it even more incredible than it already is. It's pretty amazing to see the reality of it and all of the crazy dangerous stunts that were done, because a lot of those stunts were pretty dangerous. All of these movies on this list are super good. This list is like my heart and soul, I guess. If you like to see women be total badasses and totally dominate the screen, and if you like action movies, this is the perfect list for you. So let me know what you think of these movies, if any of them are your favorites. Let me know in the comments. Let me know of any other female-led action movies that you really like. Yeah, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, as they all say. You know, help. Samuel Davis. I guess it's my American accent that I say existential, but I mean eggs. It's really hard for me to say it in the proper way that I'm trying to say it. So I'm gonna put on the screen like the actual spelling of it and pronunciation, maybe. But yeah, this movie is I forgot what I was gonna say. What was I gonna say? Do it. My voice is going out. It's because I don't talk a lot. So, hold on. Don't mind my dirty dishes in the background. No, don't mind my clean dishes in the background. They are drying.